Hello, people. It's your boy Osman back again with another Manchester United podcast. As you can see from the title, we're going to be covering the Manchester United expectations for the 21-22 season.
Osman Talks United.
Yes. Let's get into it. Make sure you show some love. As always, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in. I'm sure everyone knows the big news regarding Lionel Messi. You're probably wondering what that relates to Manchester United. But we're going to have to discuss it. We have to talk about it. But before we get into that, let me introduce to you, first and foremost, my co-host for today's podcast, the homie, Pogba's biggest fan, Hey Solly, 99 Vibes himself. Kish is back in the building. Kish, how are you, bro?
I'm good, thank you, Usman. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Always a pleasure to be on street stuff, man. It's always 99 Vibes when you're on it, so you look
Mr. 99 Vibes.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, but that's what it's about. Listen, as I just said, Lionel Messi is the biggest story of the day. So we're going to just quickly discuss it because, to be honest, I just want to get Kish's thoughts, not just on Messi, but do you think Manchester United should break the bank and try and get Messi? Look, first and foremost, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to say yes, of course. So I'm going to make it a bit harder for yourself. First of all, I'm just going to get your thoughts, and then I'll make it a bit more difficult. So just initially, Kish, first and foremost, your thoughts on the Messi situation. Do you think there's any possibility that Manchester United could do an absolute madness, not only have Ronaldo, but Messi play for the same club within the same era of football?
Nah, I don't think it's very realistic. I literally was thinking this morning that it potentially looks like that we might be done for signings in terms of just signing Varane and Sancho, and I thought that could be it. So signing Messi, I don't really see our board going and doing that. How effective it would be for us as well. Yes, he would be a great player, be a great addition for our team. But in terms of the money that we're going to spend on him, could that be better spent elsewhere on like a CDM? So it doesn't look very realistic from many angles, if I'm honest. But in Dreamland, yeah, it would be amazing, man, to have him play for us.
Yeah, no, I think it would be realistic then. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that's going to be like obviously taking the piss. But in terms of the signing itself, of course he is a free agent. I mean, it would just be a matter of wages, surely. I mean, we've got Jerry joining us here from the United team, so of course. Jerry, talking about Messi, if you can hear us, hopefully you can. Talking about Messi, just very briefly, as we just started. Basically, as I put on the chat.
Sorry, I can't lie. The audio sounds weird. What's that?
Yeah, I think it's Kish's. Kish, I think it's audio,
Do you reckon?
Yeah, it will be. I think it's because you're playing from the TV. 1 second. Let me just mute him back because it's going to be normal. Yeah, it's definitely yours, Kish. Kish, try to put some headphones in because it's not the greatest, to be honest. Hello, Osman and the panelists. Yes, Ben, hopefully you're doing well, my guy. But yeah, as I was saying to Kish, look, we know Messi's a dreamland signing. Don't expect it to happen. There's probably 1% chance of us even being in contention to get him. However, it will come down to wages realistically because there's no fee for him, or as we all know. Where would you sit on the whole thing? Like, do you think it's a matter of Kish, you get muted. Right, okay. While you're playing your address. Yeah, he's unmuted himself. I don't know what he's doing. Kish, do you know what you're doing? I don't know where he's going. Right, okay. Yeah, anyways, as I was saying, do you think we go all out and get Messi, basically, is what I'm trying to say?
Man United?
I mean, it's not going to happen, I'm just asking you a question.
We're wasting our breath talking about it. Like, we're not. No, we're not even linked to him. Nothing. Like, nah. Damn, I'm not even thinking about no links to university. This is it's breaking news, but it's not like I don't care. It's just like it is what it is, man. Like he's leaving, isn't it? Like it's the end of era. I thought he was gonna retire there, but yeah, they can't pay his astronomical wages. So I wonder where he's gonna go because what's he on $1 million a week or something like that?
Who's told me? Someone told me he's on like 600 or 500 a week.
Oh, that's mad.
I
know
mean,
he's messing, but fam. Nah,
what, you wouldn't pay 500 a week for Messi? Is that what you're saying?
No.
What? Are you being serious?
What for? What? To destroy our wage thing and put us into more debt and nah, man.
Listen, we could, like I said on the chart, if we sell a couple of players, they could just give their wages to Messi. There's so much dead wood in this team. I can name you 500 grand worth of wages quite easily if you want me to. Like we got one matter.
That's not gonna happen, though, is it?
I'm just saying it. So
then yeah, but realistically, I'm not even thinking United and Messi in the same sentence. It doesn't make sense.
All right, Jerry's just killed that. Anyways, okay, we'll move on from that. For me personally, I would do it, but obviously Jerry doesn't think so. Anyways, let's move on to the actual topics of the show. As you can see from the title, the season expectations. So obviously, I'm going to give the guys an opportunity to give their prediction on each cup competition, including the league title as well. Jerry's already gone on record and said we're going to win the league. Or we should win the league, actually. Yeah, we should win the league, is what you said.
Yes.
Yeah, we should. Not we will. We should win the league. I mean, it's a bit of a cop-out answer.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's a very much a cop-out answer, but we'll get to the bottom of that at some point.
Cool.
Listen, let's start with the season expectations. So, Kish, we're going to come to you first and foremost. Going to the season, obviously, I've heard Jerry's thoughts on this matter, but going to the season, what are your expectations, having signed only Sancho and Varane currently?
I expect us to push on from last season. So effectively, that means making sure we're challenging all the way up until April and May, and we're there or thereabouts. I would say 4 points off the top qualifies, in my opinion, as challenging. If we're 4 points off the top in April, that would be a good look for me. But I'm hoping that we could do better than that. I'm expecting that we should do better than that. I think the Varane signing, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I think he's really going to transform the way we play. Because we're gonna have two solid centre backs, which allows us to play higher up. And obviously his experience is second to none. So I do expect. I'm with Jerry. I expect us to make sure that to make sure we challenge City. And if I'm honest as well, I'm not actually worried about. I'm not worried about Liverpool. I think we're a better team than a lot of people give us credit for, and I think we're a better team than a lot of teams. Or the big four. So yeah, I expect good things next season and challenging on all fronts as well. Even getting far in the Champions League, that means as well. If we can win it, brilliant. But I expect us to go to the latter stages of the tournament as well. So, and it looks positive. It looks positive with the signings. I just hope we get off to a good start. I know we've got a tough run. But that first 3 months is really going to define our season, I reckon. And if we get through that relatively unscathed, could look good for us.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of what you said regarding the start of the season, I'm somewhat worried about that because it just seems, I wouldn't say we're underprepared because a lot of our players are by, but there is a bit of a concern because we know Rashford and Cavani are definitely not going to start. Of course, Rashford getting the surgery and the Cavani is not by. So it would mean that Martial, Greenwood and Sancho's not there either.
He's there tomorrow. Tomorrow he's there.
Yeah.
Oh, Sancho back tomorrow. Okay, so
yeah, Oli said him and Varane will be on the bench.
Jeez! That bench, unbelievable scenes. You better make subs. I swear to God, we don't make subs without Ben. But yeah, Jerry, obviously, as Kish said there, he's agreeing with yourself in terms of challenging, in terms of what you want from Oli moving forward. Like, obviously, I know you'll say, why Oli, why Oli? But we've got to speak about the manager.
Of course we do.
We have to, man.
Yeah.
What changes do you want to see from Oli, like, moving forward? Like, for me personally, there's quite a few. But
Of
just
course.
your personal opinion on the matter, first and foremost.
Right. People think I'm Ollie in. That's Kish. That's Kish. That's not me. Me, what I do is I just try to look at the other side because I think everyone's just on one side. So I just think let me just try to see both sides. So obviously when you said, oh, what does Ollie have to do? Obviously he's the manager. It makes sense. Like he's in charge of the whole team. So for me, first and foremost, the in-game tactics for me is my biggest problem with this manager. I mean, the substitutions, man. He's got to rotate the squad this season. If he's keeping the likes of Lingard and the Van der Beeks and the who else is there? Like we have a big squad. So for me, I'm mad. I don't know if he's going on loan. I know Pelestri went on loan earlier today, but yeah, for me, he has to rotate the squad for me because last year we saw in the final, he played his strongest team. We couldn't get over the line. He looked his bench. He didn't bring anyone on. So for me, the first thing is to rotate the squad.
Absolutely.
Secondly, to be brave. I don't want to go into another big game. Scott and Fred, we're going for the 0-0. Like, go. I want this season to be the season where we transition into being the dominant team in the big games. Because normally we always sit back, pragmatic, hit them on the counter. I know it's an effective way of playing, but I want to go to like an Anfield or a Stamford Bridge and dominate. Like, I want to have most possession of the ball. They're on the back foot. We're killing them like the 99 vibes. But yeah, that's second. And third. Yeah, come back to me on that. But those are my top two ones. Like he needs to in-game management, rotate the squad, and be brave in his decisions.
Yeah, and I think to be fair, you've kind of hit the nail on the head for me personally. That's kind of what I've said on other podcasts as well in terms of being brave. I think that's the biggest issue for me. I mean, there's a few different ones that we'll touch upon, but I think that's what makes you an elite manager. That's what gets you that respect when you take those risks in those high pressured moments. That we've seen it when moments where Oli has taken a risk, and such as bringing the Cavani on, for example, against Southampton at half time, and he scored straight away. So I mean, he has used subs well at points, but the majority of the time it seems to be one of his weaknesses, and I suppose this is a weakness of a lot of managers. Pochettino definitely does it as well, so I don't want to sit here and make it out like other managers don't do it as well. It's fairly common as well, because some managers just don't trust the bench, and a lot of the comments are kind of agreeing with you in terms of making sure we're rotated, which is very important. So as Ben was saying, rotation is going to be key, but do we have the squad depth? I mean, that is a good question. Do we have the squad depth?
I think we do, man. Yeah, go on.
For me personally, I do think we have squad depth as well. I was going to quickly get Akil's comment as well, because he's always spitting facts in the chat. I need to see Oli trusting the bench more when a player's having a bad game. Take him off, no matter what. You squad it, obviously use your squad and rotate. But I mean, Kish, I'm going to throw this to you, right? Obviously, just on the back of what Jerry said, this is my biggest gripe with Oli, right? He has too many favourites in the team. I mean, literally, players can drop 1 out of 10, but if you're on Oli's favourite list, you would not get substituted off. Rashford and Bruno, in particular, are absolute. It's just an absolute joke. At the amount of times I've seen them both dropping bad gives, I understand they've got the ability to have moments of brilliance, even when they're playing shocking. And they've done that time and time in this season. So I understand some of the logic why he keeps them on. But at the same time, you got a player like Van der Beek on the bench. He's probably sat there thinking, I have got no chance of playing unless Bruno gets injured. Because even if this guy drops a 1 out of 10, he will not get substituted out. And he's done it bare times that he's not had a good game. Bruno hasn't. I mean, he's only a human being. He's not had a good game. He's on a 3 or 4 out of 10. Stays on the pitch. I mean, even in the Europa League final, you could argue. And Oli just doesn't change it. So for me, not only does he have to use a bench, people say he's got a great man management. I personally think that's poor man management. Because what message does that send to Van der Beek, Kish? Like, you can't get on the pitch regardless of how bad the next man's playing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why people look at it that way. If we take Van der Beek out of the equation, the rest of our bench probably don't really deserve to come on. They haven't been putting in performances that Ollie probably thinks are not worthy of them coming on to impact a game. Whereas the players that are on the pitch, he trusts them a lot more. So I can see why Ollie trusts them a lot more, because the players on the bench are there for a reason, in my opinion. With the exception of Van der Beek. But at the same time as well, you've got to, you know, playing devil's advocate, you've also got to think about maybe the reasons why Ollie doesn't put those players on. Are they not giving him enough reason in training for Ollie to warrant to trust them? Right? You know, who are we to make that call at the end of the day? That's obviously Ollie's call. And he's been semi-successful with it. Could he have used subs in the final? Yeah, I can see why people in pivotal moments, I can see why people have that bone to pick with him. But also you got to see it from another perspective where some of those players might just not be. I mean, who are you going to put on? Apart from Donny, yeah, Martial. I mean, he's been hit and miss more so in the last season. Who else you got? McTominay?
Yeah, but Kish, you said that. Can I just quickly interject? Using your logic, that Makeda thing never would have happened.
I was about to say that.
I
Yeah,
mean, but you know, Kish, come on.
Or 99. Yeah, no, fair.
But Ollie came one in the final against
Ollie's a super sub himself, right? And he's not like, look at Amad Diallo. I always use this example every show I've gone, every show I've done with Jerry. He's probably heard me say this about a billion times. Amad Diallo hasn't barely kicked up, regardless if he's class or not, barely kicked a ball, right? He's been forced on against AC Milan. Very pressured game. It's a huge game for semi-final, you know, of a major competition, so to speak. Gets on and scores within 5 minutes of being on the pitch. I mean, I'm not going to credit Ollie with that because it was an injury that forced his hand to bring Amad Diallo on. You can credit him if you want, that's fine. But the point I'm making is, if you don't give these guys a chance, we'll never know. And you can't. My issue is, right, and this is what I always say. Let's say Rashford. Let's just use Rashford as an example, because Rashford's a very hot and cold player. When he's firing, he's unplayable. Like that hat-trick against RB Leipzig, he looked like one of the best players in the world in that game. When he came off like 25 minutes, he destroyed them completely. But when he's cold, the guy is stone cold, basically. Like, he's shocking. He can't do anything. He can't dribble. He can't get past his man, etc., etc. The point I'm making is, there's players on the bench that can't do any worse than Rashford that is currently doing on the pitch. He doesn't even roll the dice. He doesn't mix you up. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be the best player in the team. You just need a different dimension on the pitch. You just need to freshen it up. And he literally never does, Kish, man. Like, I mean, surely you can see that Ollie's not faultless here.
It's definitely, you know, you're right. You can see that. But I just do, I just said that in terms of fairness, you know, there are probably two sides to that. But yeah, I definitely see it. Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal winning the league next season. Yeah, all right, mate. Facebook user says it all.
Yeah, Jerry, go. So obviously, Varane is landing in Manchester as we speak. Love that.
I told you you'll be there tomorrow. I told you.
You did. That was inside information. But obviously, on the other points that Jerry said, in terms of taking risks, etc., do you want to just elaborate on that a bit more? Because what is it that you're trying to say in terms of like it needs to be more brave? Like, in what sense?
Like we've also did, like, there's times when we're losing, and Scott and Fred we're still playing the double pivot. Like, we're not changing formation. We're not throwing the kitchen sink at it. Like, he needs to, certain games, like, take off the right back or let's play 3-3 at the back. I think he's played that formation like only twice. I know the Leipzig game it didn't work, but the PSG game, I liked the look of it. It looked like we planned for that game. The tactics worked, and then we just didn't see it again until further down the line. You're taking risks, like put Rashford up front for a bit. Like, sometimes, like, even Martial, I know he's left striker, but on the right, No, like sometimes he must run around thinking like, what is this? And then he throws in Dan James against a low block, like you said, throwing Amadiolo, like the AC Milan. I remember that game, like he came on literally and won. Was it 1-1 or 1-0? We won the game, right?
I think we won with his goal, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, man. Like, and then we didn't see him again. Thinking, what do you mean? Like,
Oh no, I think it was 1-1 actually. It was 1-1, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Henderson did the mistake at the end, but he got us a vital goal, and I thought, all right, cool, he's gonna kick on, probably play the next leg. We didn't see him. Like at Donny as well in the double pivot, or when we played was it the diamond we played last season or the season before?
Yeah, in moments we did play the diamond. Yeah,
it looked all right. Even Leipzig when we banged them 5-0, I thought this formation actually makes a bit of sense. And then we don't see it. And in the final, Pogba's dropped back to DM with Scott McTominay, who's further forward. Like the consistency is a bit strange to see, but like even I know the away record last season was good, but even going behind every single game, bro, was pissing me off. I can't lie to you. Like I know, United come back and it's euphoria when we come back, but bro, if we want to win the league, we can't start like that next season. So for me, we need to start fast. All this conceding first, it has to go, man. We need to come out the blocks, get 2-3-0, sit back, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. But yeah, man, Oli, as much as I try and balance it out, this is it. This season, if he doesn't win a trophy, 4 points. I'm trying to shorten that to like 2, you know. I'm not lying. Like it has to be very close. Like last day, we have to be in with a chance of winning the league, not April. Literally the last day.
So what you're saying is if Ollie's not in that position what you're just referring to now, you sack him. But you let him go.
No, I said and if you don't win a trophy.
Yeah, if he doesn't win a trophy as well, you sack him.
I won't sack him, but I would lose patience with him. Like I would just say,
what? Jerry, come on.
No, because to sack him is like,
how is he not Ollie in?
No. Listen.
Jerry doesn't really say. In terms of Jerry,
but
he's got splinters up his ass, Kish.
No. Listen,
I mean, it's realism though. It's realism.
Oh,
because,
bro,
like,
where did that come from? Sorry.
Sorry.
Yo, what you saying?
Yes,
sorry,
bro. Yes.
No, I was just saying to add to it. Like, aside from the breaking news that Messi is leaving Barca, that's I know that's not part of the discussion here.
Oh,
but bro,
Jerry said he wouldn't take him for 500 grand.
Context. Look at this.
Jerry said, nah, why would you break the wage structure for Messi? I said break it in a heartbeat, but that's just me, innit? It's not gonna happen either way, innit? Let's be real.
No. He's probably going to PSG. Let's be real. So
yeah.
But what I would, as a side, like if Pochettino doesn't win the Champions League and Ligue 1 with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe,
I mean,
no one should say this guy's
retire as manager.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's fraud. Like even Oli would win the Champions League with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. If Pochettino doesn't, I'm sorry.
I mean, I completely agree. But just to come back onto so basically, we're talking about obviously season expectations on Oli. We kind of gone a bit all over the place here. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll just get your thoughts, G, on your expectations for Oli as a manager, and obviously we'll come to Kish regarding if he thinks there's any changes that we need to implement going to the new season. So, G, you first and foremost, in terms of your expectations for Oli, what do you think he needs to do to remain in the job, so to speak, or deem it a successful season, should I say?
I mean, from the board's point of view, really, all because unfortunately, we're like Arsenal, top 4 will be is the minimum. So I know that I'm fairly confident. Unlike last season, because last season a lot of our rivals I thought had better transfer windows than we had. You know, Arsenal getting Partey and doing things. Chelsea spent 200 million. City were doing things. Liverpool obviously had their squad and signed Thiago and so on. So I was like, geez, man, we had a Cavani who I wasn't sure about, Van der Beek who seemed to be okay, and then Telles. I was like, so I wasn't that confident we're going to get top 4. This season coming in, the way that Arsenal and Spurs are, I'm like, they're not even in the conversation. So I suspect we'll comfortably get that. And so from that point of view, the board are going to be happy. If we're talking about my expectations, he at the very least needs to be. I think maybe competing for Champions League or winning the Champions League is a bit of a stretch, especially if Messi goes to PSG. I mean, if I'm not. Yeah, I think it's too much of a stretch for us to say with this squad we should win the Champions League. I think that's reasonable. I'd say depending on the draw, a quarter final, at a minimum, would be good. I think that's reasonable, depending on how the other teams are playing, what have you. Because Bayern Munich obviously a threat, Liverpool would be a threat coming back, City and so on. So, as far as the Premier League goes, I expect a challenge. That's the same thing. Like, I think he should at least win a trophy, whether that's an FA Cup or League Cup or something. But I expect us to at least challenge for the Premier League. I don't necessarily think that we'll win it, especially because if Man City go and get Kane, I don't know.
They get Kane and Grealish. It's gonna be long.
So what, man? So what, bro?
Because I still think the area, or because you understand that like City have a squad. Like we are just starting to make a squad. We have a good starting 11 to a certain extent, but City have a brilliant squad. Yeah. Like they were without Kevin De Bruyne for 3 or 4 months last season, and they were still fine. That's the importance of having a squad. So the problem with us is that, okay, what happens if Pogba and Bruno go? Who comes in? Yeah. I can bring them. So, I'm not just thinking about, oh yeah, we've got Sancho, we've got Varane, we've got something. Yeah, that's cool. But what happens when that player gets injured or something happens? Sorry about that. It's a bit loud.
Sorry.
Who comes in? We don't have that. Whereas Man City have that there.
Jesse Lingard's on the bench, man. What, don't stress, bro. Messi, Lingard. Who needs Messi? We got Jesse. Come on, boys, cheer up, man. You're looking to struggle.
Bro, we've got Messi, Lingard. PSG are gonna get the real Messi. I mean, this is the thing, So it's not fair.
Jay Lings is only 26. He's still a young lad. But listen, Kish, let me just get your thoughts. Like, just to come back to what you're saying, G. I hear what you're saying in terms of Champions League. I mean, if there's Man United fans that generally sat there saying if Oli doesn't win the Champions League, he should get sacked. I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot. I mean, that's just taking the piss in it because Fergie, only won it twice. You know what I mean? I think we need to relax on the Champions League nonsense because the Champions League, it's not easy to win the Champions League. I don't care what anyone says. It's not easy to win the league as well. I completely understand that. However, I do expect us to be challenging for the league without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, as Jerry would say, third, second, the only place is first after that. So, I mean, I'm going by Jerry's projection.
Yeah, everyone shouts progress. I said as well, third, second, the next is first. I'm sorry. Or you stay the same. Like.
Yeah, but if he doesn't come first, you said you won't sack him, though. So I just...
Huh? You said that's going backwards.
So you would sack him then? What happens to the manager? I don't get it. Like, are you going to keep him or?
No, he said he would lose patience.
Yeah, exactly. I will.
Yeah, but if he goes backwards, would you keep him? Yes or no? That's straight up.
It depends who's out there because I can't just sack him and there's no plan to who's coming in. Like, there needs to be.
Is there anyone you'd want? Like, is there anyone that you?
Oh, I'll take Ten Hag for me. That's my.
Oh yeah, that's what I want. All right, okay, fair enough. Ten Hag would be brilliant. But listen, Kish, let's get your thoughts in. Obviously, you've heard what the guys have said in terms of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, I know you're Ollie's probably biggest fan. I know you would cry real tears if you saw him. I mean, I cry real tears when I see you, Kish. But that's a different kind of love, isn't it? My guy, Kish.
Big up Ollie, man.
Yes. But in terms of your expectations for Ollie going into the season, man, like, what would you deem a successful season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Where do you sit on the whole situation?
Trophy. So I'm talking FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. And, we challenge for the league. If we have a trophy in a top 4 finish or a top 3 finish, I'd regard that as a successful season out of the 3 trophies I mentioned. Ideally, obviously, I'd want us to.
What are your thoughts on this comment? Yeah, I think Ollie will be gone by Christmas.
I'd highly doubt that, man.
Nah. The only way Ollie will be gone by Christmas is if we drop out of top 4.
I mean,
out by a while.
I mean, Ollie. Ollie.
Yeah, how many times have we survived that last game when he's gonna get sacked? And
yeah, I mean.
Ollie will be wrapping up the league by Christmas, more like.
Yes, kid.
Come on, man. The league will be wrapped up by then, man. Sancho, 20 goals already.
Oh shit! No, but on the level, like our running towards Christmas is absolutely awful. So it's that's going to be a rocky patch without a shadow of doubt. Whoever the manager is, let's call a spade, and regardless of who the manager is, I mean those games are going to be difficult. But
Yeah,
in terms, Kish, I'm going to ask you a hard question now because I know how much you love Ali. Let's say, obviously, what you were saying, top two wins a trophy. Let's say he achieves neither of them. Let's say we come fourth, okay? Because we know if we don't come fourth, he's automatically sacked by the Glazers, isn't it? Because that's what they look for. Let's say he finishes fourth, no trophy. He's, 20 points off the title, give or take, 15, 20 points. I don't know where it is. Where would you sit with Ollie in that situation? And where would you sit on the whole situation?
Similar to what Jerry said, it does depend on who's out there. But 20 points off the top, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And even I, a big advocate of Ollie, would probably start looking elsewhere. Let's put it that way, right? 20 points off the top and no trophy. That's abysmal, man. That's abysmal. And 20 points off the top usually probably means you're not even in the top four.
I mean, yeah, potentially. It just depends on the season.
I mean, hopefully, that means everyone else has had some stinkers as well. But I'd look elsewhere if he was 20 points off the top. But I think people forget. We're a team now, right? These players have been playing with each other for a few years. The majority of them anyway.
You wouldn't be able to tell the way they play on the pitch. They still don't know where the man's running.
I don't know, man. They've been second last year, so they slapped up a lot of teams as well. So hopefully we stay like that, man. And I think it's just gonna. I honestly think we're gonna be better. We're gonna be a lot better.
I'm expecting us to definitely be better without shadow doubt. The Varane signing for me is the Varane signing for me is the one that's got me most excited. I mean, we only signed 3 players, can't forget Heaton and that. But the Varane one for me is just, I think that one could potentially be the one. Like you see with Thiago Silva at Chelsea, of course Ruben Diaz at City, and then Van Dijk apparently is better than Rio Ferdinand after one season. But yeah, him at Liverpool as well. The impact that a proper leader centre-back has on the team is so integral with any sort of success. But just to bring you back in, G, in terms of the season going ahead, in terms of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what are the changes, or just the club in general, what are the changes you best want to see? So obviously Jerry was alluding to rotation being key and also taking more risks in particular. What do you want to see change the most next season, if anything?
Sorry, me, sorry.
Yeah, yourself.
Yeah. So I mean, I would like to. Funny thing is, I would actually like to see him use a Fred Van de Beek double pivot if we don't sign another midfielder. If not, then at least try Fred, Pogba, and Bruno. Like I really don't want to see McTominay and Pogba or McTominay and Fred as the thing sort of going forward. With Varane as a centre back, at the very least, we should be able to because I think even Ollie alluded it to saying that with Varane, we might be able to play a bit different. So by that being said, I'm assuming Varane has at least a bit more pace. I'm not saying he's massively quick, but I think Baye is still probably quicker than Varane, for example. But he still has more pace and is probably slightly better in the air than what's his name? Then Lindelof is. So I'd like to think that means that we could play at least a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think absolutely. As I was saying earlier, I think with the Varane thing, this is my whole sort of perspective. Okay, we do need a CDM, absolutely, but I definitely think there's an opportunity to get around the scenario because of Varane. Like Varane, he's more capable of being in a one-on-one situation. Like a lot of the times, you got to overprotect Maguire. We know that because in a 1v1, Maguire, we don't really want him in that situation. He's gonna get done for pace, of course. Potentially, he could potentially handle himself. But with Varane, he's been in that position time and time again with Real Madrid. They like to play possession football. the amount of times Varane's been in a one-on-one situation because he doesn't get as much protection because they're more advantageous in the way they play. You know, that's gonna leave him in good stead. So I think we could definitely take that risk and play higher up the pitch. I'm just gonna quickly get this comment in. I haven't read the comments, so this would be interesting. Serious question: do you think Ollie has what it takes to learn from his mistakes? Jerry, thoughts?
I hope so, but deep down, I don't. Nah, I can see it now. He will do the same things, man. Like, I really hope he, like you said, with Varane coming in, we play a different way. But I can't see it, man. Even pre-season, I heard 4-3-3. I still ain't seen it. I'm still seeing 4-2-3-1, and I don't know, man. Obviously, we ain't got all our players back. Obviously, we're probably joining in Luke Shaw, Maguire. Obviously, Saturday's game, I hope to see it because obviously that's our last pre-season game before the season kicks off. So let me watch that game and then I'll answer that question again in the next stream. But for now, I don't see it.
What do you reckon, Kish? Do you think Ollie's got, do you think Ollie's got a mistake? And secondly, if there are any, Kish, please let us know what you think there are. And do you think he can rectify them going to the new season?
Yeah, they're easily rectifiable things as well, like substitutions. I'm sure he'll probably look at that and he'll probably look back on that final as well. You know, and he got to that final, by the way. Yeah, you know, so he's obviously clearly good enough to get to finals, and he'll probably look back on that and think, yeah, he probably should have threw on a few subs. The in-game management again, things that he'll learn from. I think he'll learn from that. He's been a top flight manager now at a proper big club for 2 years. He's progressed us no matter what anyone wants to say, whether it's slow or not. So he's clearly learning from his mistakes because we progressed. And do I think he will look at those mistakes that he made last year and reflect on them? Yeah, he seems like the guy that does, right? Only time will tell as well. So similar to what Jerry said as well in respect to, let's see the first few games and see what he's like. But you know, I'm hoping to see 4-3-3 again, if I'm honest, because when he played that, we played some good football. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, when Ollie first came in, did we already have Herrera?
Yeah, that's correct. He played Herrera, Pogba, and Matic, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, which is when Pogba were flying. No, that guy that you don't like. We'll get on to him.
Oh no! Listen. I don't like him for football. Well, as in,
we'll get on it shortly, don't we?
Let's
so next topic. That would have been a beautiful segue, but I'll come back.
He still ain't signed the thing, you know. So
yeah. Benson, off topic. Will you be doing a watch along? We'll be doing a watch along for the Leeds game. Every Premier League game there will be a watch along, unless I'm ill or I've gone AWOL because Man United have lost 6 on the bounce. But yeah, Ben, don't worry, bro. There will be a watch along for that. I forgot I was going to ask you, Kish. You know, oh yeah, there we go. The Leeds game. That's what I was going to talk about. So let's quickly I just want to get your general thoughts. Obviously, this time next week, we'll probably do a bit more in depth on our call. Joe will do a show on that. But I just want to get everyone's general consensus going to the Leeds game. Of course, it is the first game of the season. Jerry, just coming to you first and foremost. You know, how are you feeling going into that game? Are you confident that we start the right way? As Kish said earlier, it's important or integral that we start the season in a positive way, really. Do you feel like that's something that we can definitely do?
Yeah, because last year was a shambles with that Palace game, that boy. No preseason.
3-1 L.
We got destroyed. I remember Zaha spun Lindelof. I said, oh my days, bro. Like, oh man, it was peak. And for me, with Leeds being the first game, fans back in the stadium, I'm excited, man. I'm buzzing that. It's going to be rocking. Big derby. They ain't been in the Prem since 2004. Coming to Old Trafford with the fans rocking. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Obviously, I think there's going to be debuts as well. And I don't know if Leeds are going to play the way they played when we banged them 6-2 or the 0-0 at Ellen Road, because I think they learned from that first game and it was kind of a cagey affair. But I think we already sold up second by then, so I don't think we really tried with that game. But first game of the season, it is very vital that we start off with a win, because that early kickoff on a Saturday, you do not want to be losing or dropping points and seeing everyone else win and they show the table and you're 16th, 17th. I know it's the first game, but
I know, but it's still embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, it's not embarrassing. That's not the right word. But it's just banter.
It's
You don't want to get bantered on the first match of the day.
Match of the day, innit?
Manchester United against Leeds. You're like, for fuck's sake, I don't want to watch this shit back. I mean, I can't remember the last match of the day I watched. I'm not going to lie, but it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm excited though.
Yeah, no, we've done all right last season, so I should have probably watched a few, but they're so biased, I don't bother. But, G, listen, get your thoughts in. What do you reckon? No, I'm going to ask you this, because this is something I always do on the previews. What do you want to see in terms of style of play and how we approach the game? Like, I know it's a bit early to be discussing that game. We don't know who's fit, etc. But just at the general standpoint, what do you want to see in terms of style? Are you happy with the way we play at the moment? Do you want to see a change with that? And how would you approach the Leeds game, G?
I mean, obviously, I like the 4-3-3. I think, to be fair, I think that's what Ollie wants to play as well. But I think that's contingent on us getting a proper holding midfielder, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yeah.
So I still would rather. I know a lot of people are, oh, Fred's garbage. I see a lot of this issue with Fred. A lot of like Fred's bad, but to be honest, the matches where I thought that we've lost a lot this season, he's either not been playing or McTominay, in my opinion, has been at fault in terms of the key games. What I'm saying, whether that's the Villarreal final because we're playing a pivot of McTominay and Pogba, even the Leicester game, McTominay I think was responsible for getting the free kick, which ended up us conceding I think one of the final goals, Arsenal and so on. And even in the Champions League, he was absent in that game against RB. I get he got sent off the red card now, but even then, when he was playing in that game against United, we were pretty even in terms of PSG versus in the first 50 something or so minutes, and then he got sent off, and then it went the other way, obviously down to 10 men. So I don't know. I just think that I would like to, if we are going to go down the pivot, I just can't see Fred and McTominay again. If we're going to see Fred, have him, or if you're going to play McTominay, not saying he's a bad player, you play him as someone that's further forward, going forward, bombing on, etc. He's not a player for me that people say, oh, he's disciplined and stuff. I don't get where the discipline is. Like he doesn't tackle, like he doesn't recover the ball. Like that's not his. He doesn't go win the ball and then distribute it. Both Fred and McTominay are poor passers, which doesn't help. But anyway, I'm not going to go to McTominay round. I guess my point is just like, if we're going to play the double pivot, which I'm 90% sure we're going to, at the very least, at the minimum, if I see something different from McTominay and Fred, I'll be happy. Is the point I'm trying to make. But if he's more confident and he thinks that Varane will be okay, then maybe we can go back to playing someone single there, and maybe that might be Fred, for example, or Van der Beek or whatever. So if we can do that, that's it, because the front three pretty much writes itself. The only thing I would add on to it is that, like, I do think that he needs to use more youth. Whether he can do that or not, because we can't sell players, is the problem, though. And this is where I think that you might have to take it out of Ollie's hands, because I want to see Alanga, I want to see Diallo, I want to see those players. But if we can't get rid of Sancho and Lingard, he has to play Lingard and Daniel James and Mata and so on. Then he has to play those players because they're on the higher wages. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, I forgot we kept Matt. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, so that doesn't. I don't know if that makes any sense now, but we'll have to wait and see. Regarding situation. I hear what you're saying. It's quite. I think it's quite clear you don't like McTominay. I don't know. Yeah.
No, I don't like him as a holding midfielder. If he goes for Leeds, for example, like he did the first time, if he goes forward and like as a box to box and drives, he's great. No, but I don't want him like as a holding midfielder. That's not what he does. He doesn't do any of that. So, but anyway.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm just going to quickly get these comments in. ITN said, please address the goalkeeper situation. I've written it down, bro. Don't worry, I will address that after this topic. Big Ron saying, I want a 4-1-4-1 Bielsa style goalkeeper. He hasn't said. I suppose to address that in a bit. Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Maguire, Shaw, Fred, Bruno Pogba, Sancho, Martial, Cavani. Right, okay, we'll get onto that a bit later on as well. Just Kish, in terms of style of play, bro, you're happy the way Manchester now play football currently under Oli. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I want to see us play similar to what Jerry said. I want us to see us dominate games. I want us to see us pin teams back, sustain pressure. I know against teams like Leeds it's going to be difficult. I mean, but should it be difficult? That is the question. I think we should be able to dominate against Leeds. I think for me personally, the issue has been the CDM. Oli has been very cautious. He's scared that we're going to get hit on the break, as we did against Spurs, where we got slapped 6-1. But at the same time, you know, he needs to start taking more risks because we can't be drawing games early on, especially the first game of the season. I hope this isn't like a 0-0, 1-1, one of them games that people ask the first game of the season. Kish, where do you sit? Like, do you feel like Man United need to be very aggressive in the game against Leeds?
Caution, yeah, because Leeds are a good side. You know, make no mistake about that. They are a good side. They cause City problems. They've caused Liverpool problems. So they are a good side. You know, this whole point about style of play, could it be better? Yes. You know, with the right personnel, you know, I would like to see a 4-3-3 as well. But I think Oli, fair play to him because he's realised what these players are capable of, the squad that he had, and I think he made the best out of what he could. So yeah, now that we've got better personnel, we've got players like Sancho, we've got players like Varane. I think that we can play. You know, you'll probably see a better style of football, and we will keep possession. But you know, I think it's important to highlight as well that yes, we should have a style of play, and to be fair, we dominate most games, right? I
don't think we do.
I think we do. Last season, if you look at the possession stats, we probably came out on top on most games.
Yeah, I know,
right?
but possession stats.
It's what we're doing. At the end of the day, it's what we're doing with the possession, right? And how clinical we are, and that was probably an issue. So do we need to dominate games? I think, yeah, we could dominate them more, but we're quite, you know, if you go and look at our possession status, but I think, you know,
what do you consist of dominate game? Like for me personally, possession stat isn't a good start to base it on because, like for example, let's just say Maguire and Lindelof are making 6-1-2s amongst themselves. It would say Man United got 100% possession. Like I mean, it has to be possession in the final third for you to suggest that we dominate games. And if you look at possession in the final third, I haven't got the stats in front of me, but I can assure you it's nowhere near as high as you probably think it is. Like how often do we sustain attacks and pin teams back? Minus when the teams allow us to, because they're beating us in the first half. Second half, obviously, we come good. But I feel like we don't sustain attacks. We don't consistently. We have done it, don't get me wrong, but we don't do it consistently, you know, which is a concern for me. As a team with so much quality in the midfield, why is that the case? Why are we not consistently pinning teams back?
I think people place too much emphasis on this style of play. I mean, like, look, if you had to take Chelsea, what's their style of play?
I mean, it's a good football. I mean,
8 man at the back, like
I mean,
you know.
Chelsea,
you know what I mean? So this style of play, I'm not a personal buyer of that, man.
People only think of that's it. People only think of a style of play when you're winning trophies. Like I think it's only like a style of play only becomes like relevant when when you're not winning silverware. That's why I think there's been such an emphasis on it. Let's be real, because like even if it's a boring or dead, like when Mourinho, let's be real, Mourinho's style of play was, you know, very, very defensive, 10 man behind the ball and lob up. There wasn't like anything exciting, but no one questioned it because he won a treble with Inter and Porto. So it is what it is. So I agree. I think that it's fine to have a style of play, but I think there's emphasis on it with Oli now because he hasn't been able to deliver really any silverware. Yeah. Whereas, as you guys said, like let's, you know,
that's a very.
I just want to win games, Usman, man, and you know, if he can do that on a consistent basis, whether we're counter-attacking, whether we're playing free-flowing football, you know, as long as we're winning games, that's good enough for me. I'm a football fan at the end of the day. You know, I want to see us win games. And Ollie's never been boring, right? He's never been a boring manager. When we play football, I enjoy watching us play. Since Fergie, I've enjoyed watching Ollie's football the most.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that because he was up against Billy Joseph, Van Gaal, and David Moyes. So, like,
Exactly. So
all right, in that sense, I hear what you're saying. Okay, in terms of compared to his sort of predecessor, so to speak. But when I say style of play, obviously you mentioned free flowing football. What I'm looking for is right. First and foremost, the middle passage of the pitch is way too slow for me consistently through every single game. It almost seems like the players haven't got a clue what they're doing. If that's down to the players, okay, fair enough. Like, for example, McFred, they might be those guys that aren't capable of, playing that Iniesta or Modric or Cruz kind of pass. And I understand that. But why is he playing them week in, week out then? Because you have got someone like Van der Beek who has potentially got the ability to play one-touch football. I mean, he's done it at Ajax his entire life. I'm not saying that Van der Beek was this messiah to come in and change, completely revolutionize the way Manchester United play. But what I'm saying is, I feel like we haven't really played at a good level for a long time under Oli. I mean, he's still got results, which is what you care about, which is fine. But I think we can get results and play a certain brand of football, which is entertaining to watch. I mean, that's what Manchester United is built on. I'm not saying we do it week in, week out. Don't get me wrong, we can't do it every single week. We didn't do it every single week under Fergie. Like, from February onwards, we played shit, but we got the result. Like, it was 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 under Fergie as well. Like, we didn't play brilliant football under Fergie every week, but it's the third year now. It's third full season, if I'm not wrong. I mean, I want to see some actual difference. I want to see Manchester United pinning people's back and putting them under pressure. I understand it's not going to happen week in, week out, but I want to see us sustaining attacks.
I mean, I swear we won 9-0 last season.
Oh, Kish, come on, bro.
Like,
we also lost 6-1 then. I can say we lost 6-1. Like,
what I would say is that we actually have seen. I mean, I remember the best game I remember watching Manchester in terms of what Usman is talking about. I remember is that League Cup game against Everton in
performance.
I always use that. That's the game that I said was our best performance.
So he can do it, and we have the potential to. I think we played a diamond, if I recall. I think it was Bailly and Maguire.
Bailly played on the back, and he allowed us to be.
His passes through the lines were top notch that game.
Well, they were top notch. Yeah, I remember that. And Fernandez's goal was like Cantona-esque.
And then Cavani obviously stepped in. That, for me, I know that should be the team that should start. Plus or minus, obviously Sancho and Varane sort of coming in. But because last season we kind of tried the diamond out. It kind of worked sometimes. It didn't work sometimes. Then it was almost kind of like, let's go back to reliable 4-2-3-1. I mean, I think at the end of the day,
I think you got to realize, though, lads, that you can't play one way all the time and expect to win. You have to be able to be versatile, right? You have to be able to be versatile. And, yes, dominating teams is good. But when Oli sat back against City and we countered them and we won.
Yeah, but Kish, I'm not saying we should dominate against City. I'm saying against, let me just rattle off a couple of teams. I'm saying against Burnley, Norwich, Brighton. I mean, the fact that Brighton...
Yeah, we'll slap them. Watch, we'll slap them.
I mean, you're saying that, but I haven't seen evidence to suggest that that's going to change. Because, I understand we've won some of those games last season, but it is a growing concern that we literally scraped through all those games. How many of them games that we've just slapped? I'm not saying every team goes and slaps.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Liverpool City. They don't slap people week in, week out.
Yeah,
not every week, but I'm saying at least, show me 10 times in the season that against these shit teams. I feel every one of those games has been great.
Usman, we have to at least give a bit of credit. So, I do genuinely think the quality of the Premier League teams in recent years has gotten I don't think I'm not saying for example Sheffield United, there was no excuse there. We should be definitely stuff like that. But we do have to look at teams, and obviously at the end of the day,
bro, come on, Fulham
they obviously
we just about beat Fulham twice, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but the thing is,
Fulham drew with a lot of teams.
Fulham beat Liverpool, bro.
Yeah, but Liverpool.
Fulham beat Liverpool. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean,
man. They got a style of play.
Liverpool shit.
Nonsense, mate. Oli, 99 vibes, man.
Well, their style of play, they're fucking shy, Liverpool. We're finishing above them scum anyways. But sorry, G, as you were saying.
Didn't they draw against City? I'm sure they drew against City. He drew against Manchester City, if I recall. They won or something.
It was wrong. You got a scam, bro, man. Honestly,
bro, come on, man. Bro,
No, but
come
we need
on.
to be real. Like, yes, we should be getting us, but like, let's build the Premier League. It's competitive for a reason, and like, and this thing I want you to is that we should never. I want the mentality of the players to go into the games being like, okay, like win the game first before you chill. For me, one of the problems with this United team is complacency. Is that we just
Absolutely.
assume that you go up against Brighton and you're like, oh yeah, of course it's Brighton. We should be able to ball it or whatever. No, don't have that mindset. Don't have the mindset at all. You go from the
Yeah,
first minute from the
all right.
whistle goes that this team has the potential to
It's
beat
facts.
us.
But they're
Go out and
relegated.
win.
What is
Who
fact?
cares, bro?
Exactly, they're relegated. Better football. They won't play better
Yeah, but
football.
Brighton play better football than us, though. Let's not.
Where did they finish? 17?
Yeah, but look at their players. Like, look at how.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
my point. How can teams like that with shit players, right, have bang average players like Arsenal spending 50 million on their centre back, like bang average players, right, play better football than Man United week in, week out, like, or even Southampton over a period in the season, you could argue played better football than Man United for a period of time, and their players are nowhere near the caliber of our players. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, but what happened?
I mean, yeah, the shit, but the thing is, we've got a lot of talent in our team. I expect us to consistently and be dominated against the lesser teams. I'm not saying against the bigger teams. All I'm saying is against the Southamptons, even who are probably relegated, Newcastle, these teams, I expect Manchester United to go to St. James's Park and say, we're Man United, we're going to play you off the park, and there ain't shit you can do about it. And
That's a fair point as well, man. And I think you will see that.
We got 4 past Newcastle last season, if I recall. We did.
Yeah.
We did
The
dominate
football was
Newcastle.
It was one.
Yeah.
Come on, it was 1-1 into the 90th minute, man. I'll be 80th minute and we scored 3. Like, come on, let's.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
though. Like, why do we care when we score?
Then what happened? What happened to City though? City went there and Newcastle drew with them, didn't they?
That's
Yeah,
true.
but you keep choosing the one-off game that City draws to a team. Look at we got about 12 draws. That's
What
what
draw to team? They drew against Newcastle.
We beat Brighton 3-1, I'm sure, as well. Rashford sat down.
I mean, how
what's
many
his name?
Ben White is shit. How many draws did we get last season? That's what I'm trying to say.
Quite a few.
That's what I'm saying. Those draws, we got to turn them into wins.
And some of them were good defensive errors, like Everton. We were slapping them about everywhere.
Yeah,
and
but there's other games that you could, like the Leeds game, for example. We offered absolutely fuck all in that game. Arsenal game offered nothing. Chelsea game offered nothing. Liverpool game.
Yeah, the Arsenal game.
It begs the question.
The Arsenal game, Cavani missed 2 sitters, mate. Like,
I mean,
two stories.
Like I said, the shit.
Yeah, exactly. So a draw was fair, and plus the first game.
I'm not saying the draw is not fair, but what I'm saying is
Pogba gave away the penalty. Let's not forget.
Okay, but against these lesser teams, we're struggling, and I want us to go in and assert our dominance. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
I get where you're coming from. I wouldn't put it as harshly as we're struggling. But yeah, could our performances improve against the lower side, the lesser side?
I genuinely would say individual brilliance.
It is because even individual mistakes is what cost us. Like Lindelof against West Brom, Wan-Bissaka's back post every time.
Okay,
I don't understand that.
I hear the Wan-Bissaka ones, but the Lindelof shit is not going to happen because fucking Varane champion.
That's what I'm saying. So it cuts out a lot.
Let's hold up. That's the thing. Let's hold up a second because the thing is like we need to. And that let's not assume that Varane is just going to come into this team and just instantly ball and be. He is good, he is quality, but he obviously needs like time. We'll see what happens. I'm not saying he won't, but like I don't want the United fans to be like, as soon as Varane makes one mistake, for it to be like, oh, Varane is useless. Always this or this.
It's going to be like, man. It's going to be on.
It's going to happen anyway. From a rival fan, as soon as he makes a mistake, they're going to be onto him.
Here we go. Crystal Palace beat us 3-1 and Spurs slapped us 6-1. I mean, they were kind of anomalies, I'm not going to lie, so I can't really get on the back of that big run. But I appreciate you trying to back the beef.
Marshall got sent off stupidly.
Oh, boss, yes, Jerry.
Yeah, wrongly. Yeah, we lost our heads.
Lamella.
It wasn't tactical. We lost our heads.
Yeah.
I mean,
at the end of the day, we're Spurs. Spurs are playing in the Conference League and we're playing the Champions League. So that's the difference. That's levels.
I mean, Spurs are another shit club. There's so many.
Jose's on Talk Sport right now, man. Come on, man.
There's too many shit teams in the league, man. I'm expecting us to do well. But listen, I was going to finish on the goalkeeper situation and then get everyone's thoughts on Pogba quickly. I mean, I'm pretty much sick and tired of it, so we'll keep it very brief. So in terms of the goalkeeper situation, who is everyone's number one going to the season and why? Of course, we know David De Gea is going to start the season because Henderson's got COVID, or he's recovering from COVID. Hopefully, it's speedy recovery to him. Kish, we'll start with you first this time. Who's your number one for the season, and why are you backing that goalkeeper?
I'm going with David De Gea, man. Dean Henderson needs to chill out. Yeah, I know he's got these wild dreams, and they're not wild, to be fair. He's fulfilling a lot of them, that he wants to be United number one. But as a keeper, what you've got to remember is that experience counts a lot for a goalkeeper, especially someone like David De Gea, who is a class keeper. A couple of years ago, I would have called him a world-class keeper. I think David De Gea is still a class keeper. He's still a good keeper. And it's for that reason and his experience that I would keep him there. Also, I look at it from Varane and Maguire's point of view. I'm talking about a mature spine there, an experienced spine with David De Gea leading that in goal. So I think that works a lot better. I think Dean Henderson's still got a lot to learn. I think he does have positive attributes, but he ain't. He's not on David De Gea's level. And after I saw that Salah, I was done. He had to sit down after that for a good few matches. The geezer was rooted, and Salah's running towards him, and he's standing there. I'm screaming, "Go out to him, get out to him!" And I think it's little things like that he hasn't learned yet. He can do all the shouting he wants, but I think there's positive attributes. But I think he needs to relax himself for a bit. And stop causing all this, drama as well. I want to be this, I want to be that. He needs to wait his turn. David De Gea, he's still got credit in the bank. Now, I know he's had some wobbly seasons lately, but he's still got credit in the bank. And I think sometimes we forget David De Gea is a top class keeper, and a lot of teams would want him in goal. So David De Gea for me, man.
Yeah, no, I think you made a lot of good points. I think for me personally, I've said from day one that Henderson's not ready. I mean, I said it last season. I've said it numerous times before Henderson came in. My only thing with Henderson was over De Gea, which is why I did want him to play at the time, was De Gea was really starting to piss me off with his commanding of the box. Like, we were conceding a lot of goals because De Gea would just not come out. Like, imagine you take De Gea around, you got Peter Cech there. Like, Peter Cech comes and catches about 9 out of 10. Or those crossing, De Gea's catching 1 out of 10. Like, he doesn't come and he doesn't relieve any of the pressure. So that was one of the reasons why I was conceding a lot of set pieces. Henderson came in, he had a very good start. I thought Henderson did really well last season. Of course, he had a shaky end to the season, which is what everyone is seeming to remember, which is understandable. That always seems to be the case. But we need to remember when De Gea was out, Henderson did step up. A lot of people at that moment in time, Man United fans included, were saying Henderson's the guy, X, Y, Z. And then he had that absolute horror show against Liverpool, as you just alluded to. And then a lot of people have completely forgotten his previous work. So I think, in a sense, you are being a bit harsh on Henderson. I'm not going to lie. Although I do hear what you said, I think he is, he's getting a bit carried away as well. So, Jerry, what do you reckon? De Gea or Henderson? Just quickly, Jerry, look at this comment. Martial is light ahead now. Should be back.
I said this, that bald head. I want to see smoke coming out my head.
Vibes. Let's go, Martial. Love that. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the keeper situation?
I'm torn, Like, I've heard you lot's arguments. Like, I don't know, man. Like you said, De Gea, bro, certain times he was costing us games, man. Like, I was getting fed up, like, not coming out and simply catching the ball and putting us under pressure. Like, every time.
Even against Everton, bro. Remember that?
The Everton game, yeah.
He cost us both goals practically.
Bro, every time the opposition have a corner, set piece, I'm seeing like 11 man on De Gea because they know,
come on, man.
They know, just put it in there and he's gonna fumble it. But then Henderson comes in. Like Kish said, I think he does need to relax a little bit because I think he's getting too excited. Like, you've just come in. I know you had a season at Sheffield, but you need to cool down. But I don't know. Is it time to change? No. Tom Heaton.
Heaton. He's looking decent in.
He's a good goalkeeper, man. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
straight up.
But for me, the big thing is Oli. Like, because last year, it kind of fell into his lap because obviously De Gea had his first child. He had to go to Spain. Then Henderson came in.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Henderson now has COVID. De Gea is gonna start.
Yeah.
Is he gonna make that decision like when they're both?
He's gonna wait for one of them gets injured.
Yeah, exactly.
Innit?
So I'm looking to him to see, is he going to have the balls to say, Henderson, you're not my number one, or De Gea, you're my number one? Because I really don't know who he's gonna pick. But for me, yeah, it looks like with Varane and Maguire, I think I don't know, man. Now I'll give Henderson. Yeah, man, I've seen enough of De Gea. Like, I think it's time. He's been here 10 years. I think it's time to. Yeah, I want to see Henderson have a shot, a full season, and let's assess it from there. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna sound like the biggest hypocrite going. I'm not gonna lie, because I've changed my mind about 10 times.
Yeah, same.
Someone could clip me and say this guy Osman's a right flip flop on this, because I'm flip flop bare on this.
It's hard, man.
Like I can't make my mind up, because 1 second I'm saying Henderson because he commands the ball. Next second I'm saying De Gea because I think the reason now I'm more leaning towards De Gea is honestly because Varane signed for
Varane, yeah.
It generally is. Like, because I just think with Varane in front of De Gea, I think De Gea is going to be a lot calmer. With Lindelof, who's an absolute shocker in the air. Like, he's not good in the air, Lindelof. You don't know
but like you said, I think we said it before with if we're going to play higher up, De Gea doesn't sweep like Henderson.
That's also a good point.
So
yeah, that's a good point. Obviously, De Gea needs to improve. De Gea did improve that, though. I did see.
Yeah, he actually played well last year. Yeah,
his sweeping was definitely getting better. I'll give him credit for that. There was a moment that I thought, "Raw, De Gea's out this far."
Yeah, it's true. I remember that.
But yeah, in terms of, well, obviously De Gea's going to play the home, and I think De Gea. I really just hope he doesn't make any mistakes early on into the season, man.
Well,
I just want, if we can get generally. If we can get De Gea back to even let's say 80% of the De Gea that we know, I genuinely think he wins us 5 to 10 points.
Of course.
He's that good.
He's
and
got the quality.
Does Henderson do that for us? No, he doesn't. So
we don't know. We don't
know. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. But with De Gea, if we can somehow find a bit of form in there, he wins us 5 to 10 points without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, I think he's proved it time and time again. And it's similar to Martial. If we can find Martial's form, he gets us 15 goals without a doubt.
Come on.
Come on,
right.
Yeah, listen, but obviously let us know your thoughts in the comments. Obviously, I'm trying my best to read those comments, but as always, you guys are just talking to yourself. You don't give two shits about us. The standard thing. Our goalkeeper situation is like a catch-22. It's annoying. It kind of is to an extent. Heaton said he's fighting for his number one. You know what? Go
on, Heaton. Go on, son.
I've always liked Tommy, because every time he's played against us, he's
bro, you remember that game? Oh, bro, my days.
Man would not let us go.
Let
us go, man.
That game, oh my God. Was he playing for Burnley them times?
Yeah, Burnley.
Oh,
he's basically post-Fergie Brad Friedel compared to Man United. When Friedel used to play against Man United, that guy turned into prime bloody Oliver Kahn or some shit, man.
And you remember that save from Zlatan when he did that fam?
Yeah, the starfish one. That's what I'm saying, bro. Zlatan on the card.
Yeah, Zlatan.
Bro, that starfish save. Heaton was on smoke, so by all means, to put pressure on, I'm all for it. Right, I'm gonna finish on two guys, the French connection, so to speak. We'll leave Pogba today because Martial's gonna be short and sweet. Right. Kish, I just want to get it on video. Obviously, all our thoughts on the situation, because then no one can say shit to me. Right, let's start with you, Kish, because I know you are a fan. What are your thoughts on Martial this season? What are your expectations of the guy? Because he's had an absolute mare last season. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, he did. Absolute mare. Big faith in him.
Just overrated because he's English. Love that. Yes, shout out Daniel, my guy. Showing love in that always. But Kish, go on. What are your thoughts on Martial?
I personally, on a personal level, I want him to do so well. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's really talented. But for me, if you're going to win titles, you have to be ruthless as a club, and it's make or break for him this year. He has to, 10 goals, 10 assists, something like that.
10 assists?
Well, I think Martial has got a lot more. He's got a lot more creative ability than people give him props for. He links up play very well. That's why I'm excited to see him with Sancho. They're two very similar players. Yeah, 99 vibes. and you've got Donny as well. If there's a position for him who also plays that well, obviously Bruno, Pogba. So I really hope that he does well this season. I think he's going to do well this season. I mean, if you're rago enough to shave your head off, this guy he don't fear nothing. He's got. Let's be honest. He's got a nice hairline. He's got a good trim, and to shave that all off, something must have switched. And I'm hoping he's going to be on fire, because I'll be honest with you, when he's on fire, he's unplayable. He's one of the best in the league. Honestly, he's one of the best in the league. There's not a lot of people that can come close to his technical ability. So, yeah, exactly what ITN just said. I'm hoping for a big season from Martial, man.
100%. Yeah, and listen, if you shave your hair like that, bro, you better be coming with the Thierry. I want to see the open body finesse into the bottom corner. Nothing less. None of this shit finishing from last season. But in terms of some of the players you mentioned, if you actually deep it, right, we've got Van de Beek, Pogba, Bruno, Martial and Sancho, who all love playing one-touch football. Like, I mean, if you wanted them to, they could quite easily just play triangles for days. Like, they've got that. Like, obviously people can say Bruno, maybe not, but you saw it against Roma when Pogba just violates that defender. I don't even know who it was. Oh, it was Smalling. He violates Smalling, plays it to Cavani. Cavani just one touch to Bruno, dinks it over. GG, mate. Job done. Game over, sort of thing. That's kind of football I'm expecting from Martial, Sancho, and Bruno. Really, I want that one-touch, intricate triangles within the sort of edge of the box, that kind of sort of region. And I think Martial definitely brings that to the team. In terms of his assists, you are right. He has got that creative aspect to his game. It'd be interesting to see how he links up with Sancho. For me personally, that's something I'm very excited to see, because Sancho is that guy that it's almost like a striker's dream. In the sense he looks to assist as a Palladori compared to other players, but like a lot of other players that we've seen in the Premier League, their first sort of thought process is that how can I assist my teammate? And Martial's going to benefit of that a lot. And on top of that, he likes to link up as well. So hopefully that benefits Martial, and not just Martial, Cavani as well, because we need a big season from Cavani as well if we're really going to push for the major honours. But Jerry, over to you, bro. Obviously, I know your thoughts on Martial.
No. Listen.
Oh, you all right? You switching it? All right, okay, I'll leave the.
The only reason last year I was on him because I was so disappointed. Ask my bros, bro. I said Martial top scorer. They were all laughing, busting up on the floor, like, and for him to score 4 goals and the way he was performing, I was thinking, what happened to you? Like the year previous, he was our top scorer. Like
23, bro. No pens as well. 23,
you see,
no
that
pens.
season, people were saying, Bruno's the reason why we got top 4. No, he was part of the reason. Martial was a big part of why we got top 4. He was slapping them top bins against Bournemouth, the hat trick against Sheffield. He was on smoke. And for him last year, I was just thinking, who is this guy? So this season, I'm actually rooting for him. I know it doesn't seem that, but I'm actually like, I'm happy. Not that I'm happy Cavani's not there, but I'm happy that Martial's gonna start the season up front, because that's his. Okay, you're starting. Grab it now. This is your moment.
Yo, I'm gassed. I'm buying more fancy football, Jerry. I'm not gonna lie,
bro. Listen. I didn't even want to reveal it, but I've got him in my team.
Yeah, come on, Jerry. Let's go. Yo, I'm gassed. I'm actually buying him now. You know, Jerry.
I swear down he's in my team, because I think he let him, like Chris said, when he's on fire, the talent is unmatched. Like he's level. So for me, I'm hoping for a big season. He's got the bald head. He's ready to come on smoke. He's in training. It looks like he's overcome his injury. And yeah, man, Martial, I'm excited, man. Obviously, we said with Sancho and Bruno, even watching them together in the pictures, they all look happy. The team spirit looks even more. Pogba's back. I know we're gonna touch on him later, but yeah, man, I'm buzzing for Martial. Really, like, I think he's on smoke this season. I can see it, man.
Yo, I love about this moment right now is that everyone's got a clean slate. Obviously, people say you're not as good as your last season, of course, but he's got Martial players like that in particular have got a clean slate to start afresh, man. Like, let's just say against Leeds, he scores the first game, gets an assist, and then he puts in a couple of decent performances. You know, last season will be forgotten for us Man United fans, because Martial's that guy. Like, when he's on form, this is the issue with me. With a lot of our players are purple patch players, man. I don't know if you noticed that. We have too many purple. We don't have that consistent guy. Luke Shaw's probably the most consistent player we've got, I'd say. Like you expect a 7 out of 10 from him practically every game, 6 to 7, sometimes 8, 9, etc. But Luke Shaw consistently gives you a 7. You could argue some of the other players might do as well, but in the front now we don't have that guy that consistent. I mean, Bruno has been that guy to an extent, apart from the back end of the season. But we need Rashford and Martial to show consistency because the ability is there. We need their consistency, even if they're not particularly affecting the game. They've got to be involved, man. And that's the issue with them guys. Their heads drop too easy. Like Martial, let's just say he don't score. Obviously, God forbid, but let's just say he don't score the first 2 games. We know what everyone's going to be thinking, and he's probably thinking, "Oh shit, I haven't scored in ages." I mean, the pressure's already. I don't want him to be thinking that. I don't want him to think, if I was Ollie, I'd be saying to Martial, "Look, forget what's happened last season. Or let's be real, it wasn't your best season." But the season before, as Jerry just said, 23 goals, arguably unplayable at the time, in moments. Just go, you've shown to me what you're capable of. Let's go back to that. Let's not worry about it last season. We can't change that. And let's go again. Simple as, clean slate. Even if you don't score against Leeds or the other couple of first games that we've got, it doesn't matter because it's a completely new season and, we're starting afresh. And I think it's important that a lot of our players have that mindset because I feel like, especially with a United fan base, like I could just imagine, let's just say Wan-Bissaka makes a mistake, right? Understandably, he keeps making the same mistake, which is the back post thing. We get that. But at the same time, it's a new season. I don't want people to say, "Oh, he's made like 10 mistakes, blah, 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 blah." Let's just start afresh, man, because at the end of the day, let's just judge him on this season. And that's what I'm doing with Ollie. I haven't mentioned this video. We haven't really spoken about Ollie a lot in this video. But that's what I'm doing with Ollie right now. That's why I'm not really screaming Ollie out in our WhatsApp group, so because it's pointless. Because at the end of the day, it's a new season. Whatever's happened last season has happened. There's no point in me shouting Ollie out. You guys know my thoughts on the situation. I don't think he's the guy, but I would love to see him be that guy. I would love to see him win the title. Obviously, I want a Man United legend to win the title. He's one of my favorite players. I love the guy. So by all means, I'm happy for people to prove me wrong. And Martial's got to go out there with the same mentality and say, "I want to prove everyone wrong and show them what I'm about." Because last season doesn't represent me as a player. So hopefully he has that mentality. Another guy whose mentality has been questioned a lot, in particular by Kish, Paul Labile Pogba. So Kish, let's get straight into it. We'll keep it short and sweet. I'm just going to give the floor to you, bro. I mean, the question really is, do you really care that he's not getting sold? Like, Pogba, it doesn't look like Pogba's getting sold. He's going to stay. Does that bother you that he's staying, potentially run down his contract, arguably run down his contract? Does that concern you slightly, potentially being a thorn in the dressing room, as Jerry said? Good vibes at the moment. Is Pogba going to be an issue there later down the line, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, again, if he doesn't sign the contract, he's making it about himself again. Which, I mean, yeah, there's fans out there, there's people out there who look at that and say, yeah, that's fine. It's a player's right to do that. Not if you supposedly love this team, you're not signing the contract. It's going to become a saga next year. As soon as January hits, what if we're in the latter stages of the Champions League or something like that? Out comes Raiola again. Pogba's going here, he's going there.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just long. It's all long. And it's more than a joke now. And look, you can't keep protecting the guy. He has, he's a big enough man to sort his and handle his business. If you're not going to commit your future, make that clear, right? Or what I would prefer is him to commit his future to the club, because as I said before, I don't understand why he's moving. Where are you going to move to, Paul Pogba? You're going to go to Real Madrid, who...
I mean, it's not going to go to Madrid or Barca. Them two teams are dead now.
Yeah, no money.
So they're finished teams. Absolutely finished. They haven't got the money even, and I think Real Madrid are saving their money for Mbappe or whoever, right? You can't go to Italy. Inter, done out. Juve, done out. Germany don't want him. So where's left? The most ambitious league to play in is the Premier League. He's going to be up against the best. He's playing against some of the best players in the world. He gets Champions League every year. What's the problem? And it makes me question him and his mindset at the end of the day. Does he really want to graft? Because look, it's going to be the same graft. When you go to Real Madrid or Barcelona, you're not guaranteed to win the Champions League.
Absolutely.
And lately, they're not guaranteed to win La Liga. So I think you're going from a similar situation to another similar situation. You're going from Manchester United to, and which project is better right now? I'm looking at United thinking, yeah, Project United's looking good. Project Real Madrid and Barcelona looking terrible.
Yeah, no, I think you've spoken facts. For the first time on the whole Pogba situation, Kish, I completely 100% agree with you. I actually 100% agree with you. For the first time, we've been going back and forth on this.
I think it's because
topic.
I was streaming that the WhatsApp is a bit.
We have gone back and forth so many times, but for the first time, I fully, wholeheartedly agree with it. Every single word you said. I don't see where he goes. I mean, PSG is surely going to go for Messi now. Because he's leaving.
The fans don't want him.
I mean, yeah, the fans don't want Pogba because of his mum, of course. She supports Marseille, I believe. But, you know, the fans aside, from PSG's perspective, they're going to go for Messi, of course. That's going to be the guy. That they're not going to give two shits about Pogba, let's be real. And you got Messi available at the end of the day. If you can get Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, that's game over. And that league's already game over for them. But in terms of Champions League, potentially that should be enough. But in terms of Pogba, yeah, absolutely. There's no, like, Real Madrid, Barca done, as you said. Bayern Munich will definitely not take him because they won't pay the money. Juve, I mean, they can't afford him. Neither can Inter. Obviously, Inter will finish. My thing is, right, with his whole contract, I'm really not happy about it. And again, it's similar to the De Gea situation. I keep changing my mind on it. But the reason I'm not happy is because I don't want to be in a situation in January, as Kish said, that we have got Raiola chatting shit again about X, Y, and Z. Oh, Paul Pogba. I don't. It's not about Paul Pogba. It's Man United FC, bro. If you want to leave, I love you. Leave, bro. Like, or sign the team, as Kish would say. Like, do one of the other, man. Like, because I can't be this limbo shit. It's not going to work for me all season. I don't want to be sat in December, right? Let's say it's December 12th, for example. We just got a game in 2 days because it's a busy Christmas period. And all we're hearing, oh, in January window, Paul Pogba is bloody X, Y, and Z linked to X, Y. Bro, I can't be arsed, man. We're not moving forward. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, the whole Pogba thing, it's an absolute shit show. My only thing is, Jerry, right?
Yeah.
Does he want to sign the contract? I've got a feeling, right? And again, this is a bit of a long shot, sorry. I've got a feeling he wants to stay, but the money that we're offering isn't what he
I was about to jump in with that. I think the whole thing is the money. I think he wants to be the highest paid. Obviously, right now that's the Gea on 375. Maybe I think we offered him, was it 350? He said no.
I think De Gea's on 350, if I'm not mistaken, and he wants to be the highest paid, which would be 400. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, I think
Pogba's on what, 250, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, 250. Yeah.
I mean, that's an outrageous wage rise, isn't it? Let's be real. What's he done to him?
Yeah, but
he hasn't killed it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's what the issue is. I think that's general. He wants to be the highest paid. I mean, given 350 grand today was a fuck up, initial fuck up. Like 250 should have been the highest paid. We should have went higher than that threshold, basically.
I think eventually 300 should have been 350. When we went past 300, I was thinking, yo, this is not good for future.
Pogba's on 290. If he's on 290, then he's not asking. I mean, he is asking for a lot, but I don't think he's on.
I wouldn't be surprised. Luke Shaw's on like 180.
To say he's on 275. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 375. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So he's obviously asking for 400 then, isn't it?
Well, I don't think he can put a good argument to get that money. But listen, if Raiola as his agent, he's confident that he could, if he keeps pushing, he could get that. And like you said, I don't think he wants to leave. Like, I think he wants to stay, but he wants his salary to be matched.
We got to factor in, Kish. I know you're not going to factor the same, but we got to factor in, Jerry, that this is his last contract.
Yeah, of course. He's 28. Yeah, exactly.
This is his last proper contract, this one.
Yeah. So he's trying to secure his future.
Exactly. That's not a problem, though, really, is it? You know?
I'm not saying it's our problem. Of course, it's not a problem. But what I'm saying is, from a player's perspective, when you see, obviously, I'm not a player, but I would assume if it's your last contract, you want to secure the bag for your family, because obviously you don't know what's going to happen. Innit? I mean, every single player has done it well football. There's been so many footballers, down the history book, so to speak, doing that. That's why they go to China, X, Y, and Z, and towards the end, America, etc. Kish, in terms of where you stand with Pogba as a player, let's just say we sell him. I don't think that's going to happen now. It doesn't look like it's going to stay. But let's just say Pogba's playing right for us week in, week out. Do you think with the players that we now got, he could potentially be? I mean, this is his moment, really, in terms of really shining. I know people are going to say unlocking Pogba and all that bullshit that we always hear. But is this the season that Pogba really just stays a claim, secures us something, then he can dip, basically? Is that you feel like? If he has to deliver now, really, in the sense of like a major trophy in it?
Yeah, that's the only way we, myself as a fan, parts with Pogba on a positive note. If he turns up, wins us a trophy, wins us the league, has a vital part to play. He's got two wings to spread it to now. Yeah, he can go left or right. I mean, we were very left heavy last season, left side heavy in terms of attacking. So he's got the whole pitch for him to look at now, to play those wonderful through balls that we know he can. So yeah, that's the ultimatum. He's got to perform. He's got to bring home a trophy. He's a senior player as well. He's part of that spine, right? We've built a good spine. I think Ollie's done that well. Cavani, Pogba, Bruno, Varane, Maguire. That's a good spine. It's a very, very good spine, if you ask me.
Cavani as well on top of that.
He said that.
Yeah, so he needs to play his role, and really bring it home for us. Because he's the difference maker.
You're going good, sorry.
Yeah, he's going to be the difference maker. And we can't have none of this ill discipline. Like when he played for France, he does something wonderful. That game epitomized him, right? That game epitomized his whole career. Funnily enough,
about the Switzerland game.
He scores a world class. You're thinking, oh my god, he gives the ball away at the end of the game. So that epitomizes him, and that is something you can control. Yeah, your discipline, switching on. Fitness, maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that was an issue. You got lazy or whatever, but he needs to make sure that he stands up and doesn't ruin his legacy. Because if he leaves United next year and we haven't won anything, you can blame Ollie, etc. But that's a wasted 5 years in terms of club football for Paul Pogba.
Absolutely.
So. I've got to shoot though now, man.
I was literally just wrapping it there. Kish, thank you for coming on, bro, man. An absolute pleasure.
Peace.
As always, my guy. Man.
Lovely chatting to you boys, man. Make sure you like and subscribe to Usman's channel. Pure 99 vibes, man.
In a bit, bro.
Yes, Kish. Catch you soon, my guy. Yes, obviously, that concludes the end of the show. As Kish said, there just to finish, he needs to deliver. Of course, the club or the team as a whole need to deliver, but Pogba in particular, to get that sort of grace from the United fans on his way out, potentially needs to make sure he at least delivers us one major trophy. The Europa League, I mean, he scored in the final, okay, granted, but that's not why we signed it. We didn't sign Paul Pogba to win the Europa League. So hopefully hopefully this season is the season that Pogba delivers. I'm actually quite excited to see Pogba slip it in behind to Sancho. Sancho squares it to Martial. 1-0 Manchester United against Leeds. I'm buying Martial right now as we speak. But listen, just before we go, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's tuned in. As always, make sure you slap a like, subscribe to the channel, put your comments in down below. Shout out to all our guests. Their socials are down below. First and foremost, before we go, Jerry, tell the people where they can find you, my guy.
Yes, Twitter handle on the screen right now. YouTube. United Team Talk on YouTube. We'll be back actually next week to preview the games and as we prepare for the season. But and Usman Talks United, obviously, the vibes.
100%. Make sure, obviously, you show love to Jerry and, the homies, as always. Great content, great vibes over there as well, man. Him and his brothers always debating. You love to see it. Obviously, keep it locked in here. We've got another show tomorrow. which is the return of the Friday Rabbit Show with your host. Steve is going to be a good show. I believe bits and bobs. Jan are going to be on it. I'm sure Jan's going to be absolutely buzzing because they've signed Grealish and she wants to sign Messi. I mean, Grealish and Messi in one window is outrageous. And the fact that they could potentially get Kane as well. I mean, you might as well delete the Premier League if that happens. But obviously, they'll discuss that in further detail. Make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for that. That'll be back tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. Apart from that, it's been your boy. Our socials down below. Peace.